So one Mr. Cromwell or state prosecution witnessed against Kwabena AduBoahen osanso EOCO officer abusua ene omukoko piemu ewo court na omukoko piemu court na EOCO officer chese oye state prosecution witness abusua ode wa hwebe bia case na bekwa akoduru onho beto enya de a onho beto na ene wa sheki eye courtroom ho de wa manasi ewo courtroom no enye asem keto akra Kwabena AduBoahen asema eye one Mr. Cromwell or chene say according to auditors general document chese opuli editre eye court no anasa judges no abusua Kwabena AduBoahen as NSB boss no ne asset no when declare the asset were expose audit that document no e ama high court judges now or say auditor general report ikura che say ne document and as an asset senko o declare before say obeye NSB boss no when declare NS also between 2017 to 2019 o share the salary na Kwabena AduBoahen oje na o share properties efie adan businesses ne ade na Kwabena AduBoahen na echese o acquire abusua na echese sika no krampo no hwe ne salary a endru sa properties na o acquire no abusua enti enne one Mr. Cromwell or state prosecution witness wama Kwabena AduBoahen ene ne lawyers no atini su ewo ho a echese enam documents na opuli e de ma court ni ntino echese court no asanso a Johnny case na kwa kwhye nyambo echina say masa sa o asset no krampo a wan declare no kranso sanso ye ade foforo ntina yes nyambo echina ye kwotena se ye hyeda na ye hwehwe nsem na nyambo echina mo sanso ba eno ena ya project e de ato ye screen no enchen e de amama no o say document from auditor generals indicate that Kwabena AduBoahen did not declare his asset as director of the National Signal Bureau, according to Frank Marshall Cromwell, or a EOCO staff, or no, and a state prosecution witness. And that's answer no. Also, the two just say looking at the average salary of Kwabena AduBoahen between 2017 and 2019, we found it strange that he and his wife had these properties. Abusuya inti asemno ene ye catch no sin omo ye mo hye omo e shock omo na eye omo wanwa eye omo hu say o to me acquire that kind of properties now or they to anti breaking news na nkasa and I project say e dey ato your screen no enchen dey amamo me enko na yenko ti ensem bi so a course our political highway so unsubscribe ya subscribe na hit on the notification bell so na any update be a drop no so once a betumi akabina answer na be kono Ghana has open computer papa and a laptop papa na we use abura periods computers and accessories ho and I'll be your laptop papa na we use location enya your akwan o Kumasi Buokrum Estate Eli friend number ya egu screen as 0247030108 and I say 0597942133 mo me mbonra yensem ne ba ya de akabeto amaso.
It here is that the officers, they are embedded in the various institutions and they depend on these heads for promotion, etc. So there is a bill. Actually, is it World Bank or IMF was helping. There's a draft.
To make
but
the
when this government came,
like
the previous government was dodging it, and since this government came, it doesn't appear it has come up either. So there are proposals to deal with the weaknesses. The internal auditor is looking to travel. It depends on the CEO to get a ticket to go to the US or UK. You think you open his eyes? Yes, you scratch my back. Scratch your back. So those weaknesses are supposed to be addressed.
There's a holistic situation we need to deal with, and this is one of it. I always believe that the head sets a tone. So if we did that, then what he's talking about, there's no point in having an internal auditor who is subservient to the person they are investigating.
Absolutely.
But when he talked about getting a research, unit, that is the research unit. If even during the time of the boss, they can't do anything, they will keep the information. And if they were appointed, there will be a connection between they and the Public Accounts Committee. And like we said, Auditor General should be appointed also by the minority or influence. And then there's that whole pipe. And if governments change hands, let's do it. By the way, let me just add this.
But not the minority. We can't trust them. Let the people. We deserve. No, you are concentrating power in politicians.
It's the people. It's my point. Let me make the point. I beg you. See.
No. Your time is not exhausted yet. Because, let me just say that Government is actually the proponent of this whole matter of 1 year.
No, it's good. And it's in the context of the president launching
and Dr. Eboafo, good morning. He wrote a full article regarding. But Adam Senano has joined us now. He is the co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption in Ghana, but also the chair of the African Union Advisory Board on Corruption. That's at the continental level. So, Senano, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Perfect. Quickly, and I'll come to you. Let's Edochie Tamaklo on this. Have we exhausted, and this is where Mekodoka makes the point about the measures already in place to ensure that you're able to answer for your actions while in office. We don't have to wait till you're out, and then we have you stay in the country. In fact, there has to be a law to have you stay in the country for at least 1 year. We're only having this conversation because
Oversight is absconded.
But then again,
It's not true. That's not true.
He has not absconded.
Senior, you proceed.
Okay, Alfred. You see, just to put it in context, if we just run away, we won't solve problem. Listen. What we are discussing, like you said, I'm the proponent.
Yes.
What we are discussing does not solve the problem of Oforiatta. Listen, Sedina took permission and left. Oforiatta took permission and left. Now, if even all these things are there, but it is detected that there is persecution or the environment has been set against you and you can't get a fair trial, it will be defeated.
All right,
So let's be clear that we should not make that mistake. Let's deal with it without going to Oforiatta.
What do we mean by the environment? They said the very thing. Look, we've all lived in the US before. Tune into their thing. Here we are not even doing anything. Here, or the English people, tune in and see. It's the same thing. Human beings are the same. Sometimes we talk as if it's Ghana alone that we are even doing nothing when it comes to accountability. Tune into Sky News, GB News, tune into CNN, tune into the other Fox and the rest. It's all over. Human beings are the same. Everywhere, citizens are trying to hold government to account. So what we are doing in respect of Oforiatta, that's the same thing they do in the US. They even do it better, or let me say worse. You remember when Bondi
not be tried?
Okay. No,
Sorry,
can Oforiatta be tried?
Yeah, so the processes are here ongoing, but the Constitution says no. Listen, the Constitution says that he must be present. That's why we have laws on extradition, and that's how come if he refuses to come, we would use extradition laws to get him. Yes, the trial will be ongoing, and then we'll also be making efforts to bring him. We can't say that finish the trial before you now come and make efforts to extradite. I think this we're beating it enough.
Okay.
Now let's go on. So you're saying that,
but you agree in principle that there has to be another layer of sort of a regulation to restrict.
Yes, I agree. And your question was that whilst the people are in power, what have we exhausted the laws and all the tools we can use to get accountability whilst they are in power? We've not exhausted. We've shown that, like Kofi said, I think I want to stay a bit on the internal audit agency bill. So you see, what happened is that before the president went to do the SONA, the night before, I went on Facebook and I posted this, that two things. Mr. President, we want to hear about the code of conduct and the internal audit agency bill. Well, in the SONA, he talked about the declaration of assets law.
Yes.
But the internal audit agency bill, no. You ask the experts on the field, and they've been pushing. As I said, it's either the World Bank or IMF, I'll verify, helped them to do a draft bill. But the previous government looked at it, and because they were stealing like there's no tomorrow, in Kennedy Japan's words, they didn't want to use it. They ducked, just as they ducked in respect of the asset declaration law. So when this new government came, it's lost momentum. So that is one of the key things that we can use, because like Kofi said, currently the internal auditors are largely ineffective because they themselves want to also be part of the action and they are embedded in the various agencies. You need to make them more independent, even private banks, etc. Now the auditors, they are making them external, even in private banks, so that the person who looks over making compliance, trying to make them external to the banks, so that he's not directly under the CEO, because naturally, incentives. If he sees that his colleague is traveling Today he's in New York. The next day he's in London. Hey, he will abandon his things and also see how he can also travel, right? So let's see how we can bring the Internal Audit Agency bill back to the front burner and see how it can be passed.
Right.
And then the asset declaration law, as I mentioned, the president mentioned it in the SONA, Article 106. Let's just read briefly. It says that no bill other than such a bill as referred to in paragraph A of Article 108 of this Constitution shall be introduced in Parliament unless B, it has been published in the Gazette at least 14 days before the date of its introduction in Parliament. So when the president stated in SONA that he had sent it to Parliament, I was like, but Mr. President, you have lawyers. The thing says, take it to Assembly Press. Assembly Press is next to Accra Poly. Let them publish it 14 days before it will be introduced in Parliament. That was February. The SONA was in February. This is June. June is almost gone. And we've been chasing around. We can't get the bill. Then it's beginning to sound like what Addo did. You know, this same bill. And let's mention that the IMF looked at it and said that, you know, at a point they removed the requirement of publication that TV3 has spent a lot of resources organizing colloquium, public symposia on. That the publication, when an officer has declared his asset, there should be publication, like the PNDC days. You know, we brought Rawlins's asset declaration forms here, PV Obey, Mary Grant, all of them. Even today, or let's say Monday, if you go to Assembly Press, you can buy copies. So they removed those things, and the IMF said, no, without that provision, that is not a bill. I hope eventually they put them back. But the president said the thing has been gone to Parliament from February. How many months? Or about 4 months on. We can't even find a bill. You see, so that is one of the things that will help change the game, right? So we are putting all the rules together. Then you need a strong media, a very strong media. So it's not one proposal alone. If you don't have strong media, you won't be able to do all these things, because it's a media that would be able to, you know, shine light on these things. You are the fourth estate, you see, of the realm. Fourth estate, if you are not in all of this, will not be able to get a lot of traction. So we should be looking at how to strengthen the media, right? Making sure that government protects media more. You see how soldiers have brutalized media, police have brutalized media. Oh, my good friend Lateef Idris, they cracked his skull. How many years now? The guy almost died, but for some efforts, and then he was taken to the US. Today he's in debt, over $50,000, because he needs more medical attention. There's no money. So the man is like, unless it's God. But if you are analyzing in terms of human nature, you say he's on his way to death. A media guy goes to report at the police headquarters. He gets his skull, police beat him, crack his skull. Then he's almost dying. Other examples, some have already died. Justice Ajato, when MPP was in opposition and they went to do, is it let my vote count? Kofi, were you in that in Gabi and Co? No, and then that time, you see, NDC was in power. They hit the guy, his eye. Eventually, he died. Other things. So we need more protection for the media. So as for the laws, there are many. And what we are doing now, we are reinforcing our ethos that as a nation, citizens are not sitting down quiet. We're trying to help move the corruption fight forward. So it's not just one bullet point or one legislation that can solve all. No, there are many. I don't think time will allow me to go to the other points.
Yes, so I was just zeroing in on Lloyd, the time clock.
We vote you into office. Now, the presidency and all those other things, executive power, have to approve on a certain, plan or budget, etc. Now, then you go in and you spend it. Even when you are spending it, there is what we call the when you start. Okay, there is what is called the Internal Audit Agency.
Yes.
All right. So after executive go through and approve the money, during when you are spending the money concurrently, the Internal Audit Agency, there's a whole law on that. People don't know about them. Have to be doing the internal audit to make sure you are doing the right thing. Okay. When you have finished spending the money, the Auditor General has to come and check. That's a post facto, probity thing. Whether you spend the money right, this and that, and if you didn't, they should surcharge and disallow it. All right. Now, people gamed all of that. Okay. Then we have the Public Accounts Committee, which is a post facto analysis. They look at everything. Okay. And then after the Public Accounts Committee, you have prosecution entities, OSP, EOCO, even Attorney General, etc., FIC, etc. So I want to say that It's not a new thing. We already have a probity and accountability architecture, okay? But here's the thing. We have gamed all of them. We have neutralized all of them. They don't work.
They don't work?
They don't work. So consistently people get into office, they spend the money, they take it out and we don't know what happens and how many people have gone to jail for corruption. So at a time, the World Bank forced us in Ghana to pass the law on causing financial loss to the state. The reason was because they were using criminal laws, which requires a proof beyond reasonable doubt. Now, when you make an executive decision which leads to the loss of funds, which may even inure to your benefit, unless it can be proven that it is a crime, as in you had the mens rea to cheat the state for your personal benefit, and that actually happened, you will spend the money, you will do all those things, you will not be found guilty. So that's what the law on causing financial loss to the state is about. It is to say, we don't need to prove that you wanted to commit a crime. We need to know that you gamed this thing for your benefit. They will catch you. Only one person, I think, has been caught on that law. Now, Occupy Ghana causing financial loss to the state. Is it Malamisa also?
No,
many.
A lot.
Many?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Ibrahim Adam, Kwame Petra,
then I'm thinking about something.
all of them.
Let me take my time, I'm rushing. Okay,
Yes,
so
because there's no
basically
time.
I'm saying, you see there's a whole architecture to that. All right. Now, the point I made was this. Clearly, when somebody is in office, they have power. You cannot mess with them. They hide what they do. People are afraid of them. It's clear. So you will not find the real truth when they are in power. So a lot of times, it is when they leave power, when they get off the seat, and other people come, then you hear the corruption stories and all the wild things that we hear. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, we have also said that these people must declare their assets when you are coming in. As part of the asset declaration, we are simply trying to tell you that, look, it is our money, and we want to make sure that you are not misapplying it for yourself and for other things. As part of the asset declaration, the people who go and deal with our resources must be required to stay within the country for at least 12 months. When they are not on the seat, they say when the frog dies, you see his length. For other people to check what they've done within the space of 12 months, frankly speaking, is not enough time. But it is enough time to find out if something really terrible has gone on. And you must be in the jurisdiction, because clearly when you leave the jurisdiction, all kinds of complications arise. Now, it can be done very many ways. We can do it with the law. We can do it even with a simple executive order. In fact, the president can make it a requirement.
That what? All my appointees stay in the country after I leave office, or after my tenure is over. Don't go anywhere. For at least 1 year.
Yes.
So that you can account for your stewardship.
Yes.
And whatever decisions you took while in office.
Yes. In fact, I would say he should add it to the code of conduct. You see, if you are Fred as president, you can say, for everybody who wants a post in my cabinet, you will sign this undertaking that you will not leave till 12 months after you've gone. Okay. And in some companies, let me tell you what they do. When you are appointed, you actually sign a resignation letter. On appointment, you sign a resignation letter, which is kept.
I see. What's the effect of that?
The effect of it is that it's all these legal issues. Because then the boss or the owner of the company has your resignation letter. When they want to fire you, there are many ways of firing. Dismissal, termination, all those other things. Resignation is the cleanest, neatest. So some places, when you go, they'll let you sign a resignation letter, which they keep.
Which is very bad.
Okay? No, it is to put a hold on you. So whenever they want to fire you, they just, in fact, some politicians do it.
They don't have tenure. You really don't have
But that's
tenure.
the point. The point is, the president, you do know that all executive power is vested in the president.
Absolutely.
And everybody acts
Article
for and
58.
on behalf of the president. But some people get so strong, so powerful that sometimes the president can fire them. We've had ministers who were never reshuffled because they had something. Okay. So, bottom line, it is within the president's power to require that his appointees will respect this. But it is also within the space of, what Parliament can do. Adding to the asset declaration. Asset declaration, when we did it, we said they shouldn't publish it. And all of us are saying it doesn't make sense. On top of that, let's say you will remain in the jurisdiction for 12 months. If you have to go out, let's say for medical reasons, for whatever, you just need permission to do that. And you give an undertaking that you would come back when you are required. It's like a bail arrangement. But for me, I'm saying, look, as somebody who has watched this space, okay,
Yes.
when the person is in power, it is almost impossible to deal with their infractions and other things. When they leave power, you have a better chance of knowing what they did. And if you left it to me, again, if you take Public Accounts Committee, you realize that the chairperson comes from the opposition side.
Yeah.
Okay. The Auditor General's office must not be appointed by the president. The Auditor General, I think, must be advertised and appointed by Parliament.
Yeah.
Okay, he should report to Parliament. Some of it is there, but it should be strengthened. And it should be the minority, the opposite side. Our court system is adversarial. There's a reason why. Our political systems too are adversarial, they're competitive.
Okay.
Okay. So if you have a situation where the Auditor General, even the Internal Audit Agency, you have the OSP also, appointed with a lot of influence from the other side, then you have a certain accountability mechanism which is effective. Because you don't get the president putting his people there, and then for 8 years, all kinds of things happen. And then, as we speak right now, they can abscond. If we did that, we'll be tightening the noose. And we will not be stopping anybody from doing their work. All we'll be doing is constricting the space for corruption. And me, I always say, if you don't think you can handle public office and manage other people's money with scrutiny, don't go into public office. So I really stand by it. We should. It doesn't make sense for us not to have something like that and allow people to just
say
leave.
that all the layers and laws, policies to fight corruption aren't really effective. The reason why we have to add this other layer of, you know what, stay in the country and account before you go.
There's been a declaration in the Supreme Court. When Occupy Ghana went to court, the law says that the Auditor General may surcharge or disallow. Now, when you read it all together, the may was turned into a shall. The reason is that given the total consequence or the circumstances under which you find yourself, the Supreme Court said something, I paraphrase them. They said, given the situation we find ourselves in as a country, where corruption is so rampant and it doesn't look like anything can be done about it, the Auditor General is duty bound to the effect that when he sees some of these things, that may there does not constitute a discretion for him to exercise whether he likes it or not, but it converts to a shall. They were trying to say that given the circumstances we find ourselves in, this thing must be tightened and not made totally discretional. It is suggesting to you that the nature of laws, okay, can harden or soften based on the circumstances. And when situations arise, you make laws to take care of them. It is clear to us that we have corruption. It is clear to us that it's not getting better. We did.
Okay, abusua we ne ensema ekoso our political highway so state prosecution witness osan so ye EOCO staff no na etese oba ebaba torment kwabena AduBoahen ebedamase samoje penekoko tisa ensemo edemai gossip politics TV so